Welcome back to ReZero Anime Review, episode number 67. We're here reviewing the return of the season 3 of the anime. Yep, this is reviewing episode number 59, City Scramble. 19. About half book 1, chapter 1, and about a quarter way through, about almost part way into chapter 2, and like a few pages into chapter 6 of the book. The episode opens up, and this is quite interesting. The opening scene is from chapter 2 of book 19, where we see Priscilla in a room with Latina, that's the songstress they met at the start of the season, where she proceeds to take off her dress in front of her. And of course, basically, she comments how big her breasts are. And she just... And probably Priscilla doesn't mind the fact this girl was basically just complimenting her on her breast size. And tell her how beautiful she is, which she appreciates that too. And also the fact that, well, she puts on this new dress. By the way, the dress that she wears in the anime is this very dress here. Yeah, she basically takes up the dress that she was wearing since her debut back in mid-season 1. Yes. They change her attire. In case you're curious, though, why did it take so long to get a new attire? Well, that's because basically after season 1, she wasn't seen into this very season, and that is to follow the rate of the book. He didn't feature her at all. This arc was a return to the series. Yep, she puts a new attire, and of course we have Anastasia walking. Ooh, what did I walk into? And we see her where she has got back to her. By the way, she is not completely naked in this scene. She still has her panties on. The only reason why she knows what the Latina, she knows what her breasts look like, because Priscilla does not wear a bra. Yep. So then she proceeds to put this new dress on, which they cut a little bit out here of basically saying Latina can touch her by fixing her dress. I'm presuming she probably did without being told. And like all about having a plan. And next time we see her is like toward the end of the episode, which that's from that's actually from chapter that's from a little bit later. That's from like a little bit later in chapter 2, where they're about to take on the Archbishop of Wrath, making her first appearance since like episode. It's been a few episodes since she was seen, and that's what we see Priscilla the whole episode. Otto, his thing is very brief. Like basically, his scenes in the episode are taken from the last few pages of the 5th chapter of book 18 and the beginning of the prologue from book 19, where he arrives at a square with Felt there. First time she was seen since like the first episode. She's gone for quite a while, and that's not the fall of the anime. That's all the writer, where he sees, oh, we have no Archbishop of Gluttony, and like, oh, there's more than one of you. It's like, oh yeah, you met the other one. You met this before. Yeah, I didn't realize. Basically, we got another one. Yeah. So then, of course, they have a bigger conversation. It's like, oh yeah, like they get into somebody where presumably that Subaru is. He doesn't say Subaru in the episode, and then he's like, oh, you're a merchant. Basically, it's like about being greedy. And it's like, think of merchants, you should let him finish talking first, because then he summons 2 giant fish to consume the Archbishop of Gluttony. By the way, they have a little moment here where we meet one of Felt's guards, who happen to be the leader of the Dragon Scales, and in the anime they refer to Otto as the Internal Affairs Officer. In the book, they refer to him as somebody who works with Emilia. I actually am quite happy they made that change, because it doesn't make any sense to just randomly say like it's like it doesn't recognize the fact he has a position in the actual organization of Emilia's camp, even though he actually does. Adds a brief thing there. You also got Garfield and Willingham taking on the Archbishop Lust, where they arrive like, oh, that's the Archbishop Lust, and their big things take up the wall, and then we see the 2 swordsmen from previous episodes. And Garfield, he does point out Garfield that the female swordsman is actually his late wife, Teresa, which they don't mention here. He actually had to fight her in a duel in order to win her hand in marriage. And he takes her on, and the other guy is the six-armed guy that they mentioned before, which Garfield takes on him in a pretty good fight here. And of course, he obviously finds it. Obviously, it's true because he sliced up her mask. We use a sword across her mask. Yep. And then the scene ends with looks like the Archbishop of Gluttony about to come on Garfield, and he's like, "That's not Archbishop of Gluttony. Yeah, this is just basically some glob. Oh, don't worry, he'll be fine." And then we also have Julius and Ricardo just happen to run into the other Archbishop of Gluttony in the episode. Yes, run into the other one. It's a very brief scene, and it's also from the prologue as well. And you might think, okay. There's also a brief scene at the end of the episode where we have Felix, where he is with Crouch, and he's like falling asleep. And then we hear various voices in the hallway, and it turns out it's the Archbishop of Lust who's arrived. It's a very brief scene. You're thinking, is that the whole episode? Not really. It's actually a good chunk of the episode dedicated to the ending of the previous episode, which aired back in November. Yes. Which I still like the fact this was split. Like, after 8 episodes, they put the thing on hiatus for a few months because that's what it's had to do. I don't like the fact they did this. And of course, they introduce basically like, oh yeah, you're the Master Swordsman. And of course, he is not who Super is, despite the fact he's been before in the first episode. Yep. Yes. So, and of course, basically, like, they throw some attacks at him, and of course, basically, at one point, he's holding Amelia hostage. He's even threatening to murder his own wives because he thinks Super is trying to ruin his happy life, even though that his view of love is quite dumb. Where his own wives can't express any emotion. They can't smile. They have to basically be standing still like dolls. And I agree with Amelia. That's not marriage. That is basically slavery there. So, then of course, basically, Amelia freezes him. And of course, he gets frees himself. And then of course, basically, like, Rare, so like, drop your sword. And then, don't evade my attack. And of course, he gives the sword to Subaru, which then gets sliced, but it gets healed anyways thanks to a Phoenix power. Yes, a Phoenix power. And also the fact that Subaru takes out his whip and grabs wife number 79, pulls it aside while basically Reinhardt proceeds to basically blast Regulus right through a freaking wall. And by the way, we had to cut away all this other stuff, and then we come back here where Reinhardt basically just fights him. And of course the wives basically, it's like, you have to stand for yourselves. It's like, we have permission from our husband. I'm like... And also the dress got ruined, and of course basically all about love, and of course basically... Amelia does know the fact that Subaru had a thing for him. That thing for her. But... It's like, maybe she thinks... He thinks maybe she feels the same way, but it's not exactly revealed here. And like, oh, change of plans, and continue fighting here. And that's the episode. Absolutely really good episode. And we have only 7 more to go for this whole season. My guess is probably next week we'll finish chapter 1, chapter 2, and probably go into chapter 3. And if you're curious, like, is this book shorter than book 18? Here's book 18. Book 18... Oh, it was a 184, excuse me. Book 18 is 246 pages. Book 19, which is this book right here. This book is, if you don't count the afterwards, it is 261 pages. It's a little bit shorter. So, given the fact that, well, and this is my personal guess what they're going to adapt here, because basically we have City Scramble. So, I'm guessing that... By the way, the name City Scramble, that's actually the prologue from book 19, yes. So, what do I think next chapter will be called? Maybe Find the Board Paper, maybe? Who knows? We'll find out next week. Yep. So yeah, that's particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. Next up is Dragon Ball Daima. And I may have to call it a night. I had to postpone basically this anime once again. I've been postponing the last several days watching because I'm trying to get all the anime caught up. But that tomorrow there should be no reason why I can't do it. So I'll watch it tomorrow. Or I could still watch that. Who knows? Okay. Next video, which will be Dragon Ball Daima. Bye.